Welcome to the Transformation Zone podcast, hosted by Dossou, founder of Salesforce Catalyst. Prepare for a journey into personal growth and business evolution. Discover inspiring stories and strategies to break free from fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem.
Hi there, welcome ladies and gentlemen to a brand new talk. My name is Dossou, all the way from Togo, T-O-G-O. Hey, listen, it is a brand new day and we ought to do a brand new talk. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. What are we going to talk about today? Today, I'm going to dive in a topic that is actually very pertinent and I believe quite famous, and is EQ versus IQ, or how we call it, emotional quotient versus intelligent quotients. Why do we need both to navigate the corridors of life? And how can we develop IQ and EQ? While there are two schools of thought, one which obviously believes that intelligence quotient is far greater or more important than emotional quotient, and of course the other school believes the opposite, that EQ is far more important than IQ, I beg to differ that they are equally important. Here's why. According to Stanford University Psychology Department and Harvard Business Review, IQ, as I said before, stands for intelligence quotient, is a score derived from a set of standardized tests that measure a person's cognitive abilities and intellectual potential. It is used as a measure of a person's intelligence compared to the general population. Do you see what I'm saying? So, we basically measure a person's intelligence through a test. And that's one of my challenges with the school system, but we're not going to go there now. And then we have EQ, which is emotional quotient. And it is the measurement of a person's emotional intelligence. It refers to the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's emotions, as well as the ability to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. Now, it goes without saying that if you are a leader, you definitely need both. You need the ability to process information, understand it at a very clear and original level, but you also need to be able to understand your own emotions and the emotions of the people that you're surrounded by. So, the ability to solve complex problems, while it does not guarantee the ability to effectively deal with others on an emotional level, these two abilities constitute a great deal of life. I want to tell you about a friend of mine. Let's call him Max. He's a software engineer, so to a great extent, a coder. I can confidently say that Max is by far one of the most intelligent people I know on this earth. And trust me, I meet many on my path. Max is able to solve any problem you put before him as long as he's task-oriented. But when it comes to working with people or dealing with people or anything that has to do with communication, Max had no clue what to do. He automatically fell in this vicious circle of overthinking, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. Not only in the workspace, but even at home too with his own family. He will consistently have arguments with his wife over some minor things like why the coffee has a sugar extra or why the wife goes for grocery shopping. But then you have another friend of mine called Elena. She's a fantastic nurse, totally loved by her patients. I mean, loved is an understatement, adored by her patients and her teammates. There was a story even published in the local newspaper of her town that most patients she worked with would refuse to receive treatment from other nurses when she's off duty. And as soon as she appeared, patients felt 100 times better just because she understood them and knew how to speak to them and made them feel comfortable. Now, based on the academic history of Elena, she was no genius at school. However, since her school days, Elena's ability to interact with other people, her friends, and in a way that made them feel accepted without judgment, made others even wanting to do things for her without expecting anything in return. And the same happened for her professional life. So, if you take these two examples, Max versus Elena, the intelligence enabled Max to thrive academically, enabled Max to build nice softwares, things that help our society function better. But then emotional intelligence enabled Elena to function in a group of people and interact with them at the greatest level possible. So we do need both. We do. Having one or the other, it depends, but I believe we do need both. And since we are in the Transformation Zone podcast, my goal is to share some insight with you as to how we can develop both. So let's first work with let's first work with IQ, which is intelligence quotient. But before we go there, I want to drop these two quotes on you. The first one is by Albert Einstein that says that the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. Let that sink in. And Travis Bradbury says that emotional intelligence is the key to both personal and professional success. So, let's first work with IQ. When it comes to IQ, again, intelligence quotient, it is important to understand or at least approach this concept of intelligence and cognitive development from a holistic perspective, considering a combination of factors that differ from one person to the other, such as genetics, environment, education, lifestyle, and mental stimulation. Since the development of IQ can differ from one person to the next based on their upbringing and many other factors, here are, I would say, some recommendations that I believe can help people develop their IQ. In the research paper, okay, the steps that I'm going to give you now are from this research paper called Cognitive Training and Plasticity. Okay. This research uncovered the fact that theoretical perspective and methodical considerations that were tabled by Torkel Klingberg. This paper discusses the concept of cognitive training and brain plasticity as potential avenues for enhancing our cognitive abilities. Now, this paper may not have provided a specific blueprint for increasing intelligence quotient. However, it offers a methodical consideration which we can leverage if we want to grow our intelligence. So here are some general principles that the paper acknowledge could potentially develop intelligence. The first one is cognitive training, and it consists in engaging in structured cognitive training programs that target specific cognitive skills such as working memory, developing attention or processing speed, or reasoning. And some things you could do to achieve that, as for example, solving puzzles or remembering sequences of numbers or even debating. And then the second thing you could do to develop your intelligence is working on your brain plasticity. So the concept of brain plasticity refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to experiences, learning, and environmental stimuli. By engaging in activities that challenge the brain, such as learning new skills, or playing instruments, or learning a new language, we are able to increase, or at least we are able to trigger this effect called brain plasticity that basically make you can picture the database of the things we know. You can picture it as a plastic. So every time we learn something new, it stretches to a new dimension and never ever gets back to its original form. Right. And that leads me to the next one, which is neuroplasticity mechanisms. And this refers to the process through which the brain changes and adapts in response, again, to experiences, learning, and environmental stimuli. And how do we ensure that our brain responds to neuroplasticity? We can achieve so by participating in social interactions or group activities that engage multiple cognitive functions such as communication, empathy, or social cognition, or even physical exercises such as dancing, yoga, going for a run, or martial art. And this promotes brain-body connectivity and neural integration. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go for a run, I can literally feel my brain work because of the dopamine. Now, over to emotional intelligence. How can one develop emotional intelligence? And here we are going to use the work of Daniel Goleman. He's a renowned psychologist and author known for his work on emotional intelligence, which he refers to as EI. Goleman recognized emotional intelligence as the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions in oneself and others. And here is his blueprint to develop emotional intelligence. First one is self-awareness. To increase your self-awareness, you want to leverage reflection, mindfulness practices, emotional self-assessment. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and reactions in different situations to better understand your emotional triggers and patterns. 2. Self-regulation. Practice self-regulation by learning to manage your emotions effectively and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Develop your own strategies or learn some strategies to cope with stress, regulating your emotions, and maintaining emotional balance in challenging situations. Or you can go ahead and check my podcast about stress, and you can learn some techniques there. Number 3, on the blueprint to develop emotional intelligence, that is empathy. Cultivate empathy by actively listening to others, seeking to understand their perspective and not yours, and demonstrating compassion and understanding. Always put yourself in someone else's shoe to connect emotionally and build stronger relationships based on empathy and mutual respect. 4. Social skills. Enhance your social skills by improving your communication, conflict resolution, and interpersonal abilities. Develop effective communication strategies, build rapport with others, and collaborate with diverse individuals to foster positive relationships and create a supportive social network. And the last one on how to develop emotional intelligence is motivation. You gotta be motivated. So stay motivated and focus on your goals by aligning your actions with your values, passions, and aspirations. Set meaningful goals that align with your purpose. Maintain a positive outlook on life and cultivate a growth mindset. Again, you want to listen to my podcast, Growth Mindset, to find out how to do that. Now, let's circle back for a second and go back to Max. You remember my friend that I said he's very intelligent, but could do a little more with emotional intelligence? When he became aware of the fact that he could cultivate a little bit more of emotional intelligence, here's what he did to develop that aspect of his life. Mark started by practicing self-awareness, journaling his thoughts and emotions, journaling them, writing them down, and reflecting on his reaction in different work situations. He identified his own emotional triggers and patterns, allowing him to better understand his strengths and areas for growth in managing his emotions. Next, Max focused on self-regulation, implementing mindful techniques and stress management strategies to stay calm and composed under pressure. He learned to pause and reflect before responding, rather than reacting impulsively, improving his decision-making and conflict resolution skills. He also worked on cultivating empathy by actively listening to his colleagues or his wife, seeking to understand their perspective and showing compassion and support. He also found himself a mentor, a coach, attended different kind of workshops on emotional intelligence and read books about it. And definitely, one of the most important things he did was to ask for feedback. Guess from who? From his wife. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, being intelligent and having emotional intelligence are equally important to me. But I know that if you are able, since we live in a world that requires us to deal with different kind of people all the time, if you are able to master your ability to deal with others, understand your emotions, understand people's motives, people reasons why they do things, and you are able to put yourselves in their shoes, there's a great deal that you'll go very, very far. And you'll always make an impact everywhere you go. And ultimately, that's what the goal of life is, making impact. So go ahead and start working on your IQ and EQ today. If you need help, don't be shy. Reach out to us at Salesforce Catalyst, and we'll be very happy to connect you to the best coach that can help you do just that. It's your boy, Stephen Dossou. Remember, you can be great, and I'll see you on top. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Transformation Zone podcast. If you're ready to propel your business and life to new heights, visit our website at www.salesforce.co. Connect with us for personalized transformation strategies. Until next time, embrace the journey and sail confidently toward your success.